Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. state quarter dollar coins, as some of these coins are rare and can make you rich overnight. In this video, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're diving into the world of American coinage to uncover the secrets behind one of the most fascinating state quarters ever minted, the 2007 Montana quarter. Now, don't be fooled by its common appearance. While millions of these coins were made, a few rare versions have turned heads in the coin collecting world. And for very good reason. Whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned numismatist, stay with us, because this video could change the way you look at the spare change in your pocket. And yes, we'll reveal the jaw-dropping value that one of these Montana quarters reached, an amount that might just blow your mind. Let's take a trip to Big Sky Country, Montana. The quarter representing this rugged, beautiful state was released in 2007 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 through 2008. Each state got its moment to shine, and Montana's design is nothing short of iconic. It features a massive, majestic bison skull floating above a sweeping landscape of mountains and plains. The words "Big Sky Country" are etched proudly into the coin, paying tribute to Montana's breathtaking scenery and wild spirit. But what sets the Montana quarter apart from the rest? After all, millions were minted. The difference lies in the details, and as we'll explore, those tiny imperfections or variations can turn a simple 25-cent coin into a collector's treasure. Let's start with the basics. The 2007 Montana quarter was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The most common versions come from Philadelphia and Denver, both with regular circulation strikes. San Francisco, on the other hand, produced proof coins. These are higher quality coins made especially for collectors, often with a mirror-like finish. But even among these regular and proof strikes, there are a few coins that stand out. And that's where things get interesting. Now here's where collectors really perk up. There are reports of rare errors and varieties in the Montana quarter that make certain coins far more valuable than the rest. One of the most famous error types in coin collecting is the doubled die. This happens when the design on the coin is stamped more than once in slightly different positions, creating a doubling effect. If you spot a Montana quarter with doubling in the lettering, especially around Big Sky Country or Montana, don't ignore it. You could be holding something truly rare. Another type of error that grabs collectors' attention is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not perfectly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a coin that has an unusual shape or an incomplete design. A visibly off-center Montana quarter could fetch a premium, especially if it's in good condition and the date is fully visible. Then there are die cracks, cuds, and planchet errors, minor flaws to the untrained eye, but fascinating discoveries for those who know what to look for. These are the kinds of defects that can turn a pocket change coin into a highly desirable collector's item. Even minor varieties like different spacing in the text or small anomalies in the bison skull have been known to spark serious interest among enthusiasts. And remember, condition is everything. A worn coin that's been in circulation for years might only be worth its face value. But a Montana quarter in uncirculated, mint state condition, especially one with a known error, can be worth far, far more. The higher the grade, the higher the value. You might be wondering, just how high can that value go? Well, there was one report of a rare 2007 Montana quarter, featuring a significant minting error and preserved in pristine, untouched condition, that sold for an absolutely staggering amount. We're talking about a single quarter, one that most people wouldn't look at twice, going for an unbelievable $81,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth 25 cents at face value, sold for $81,000 because of its rarity, condition, and collector demand. This is why coin collecting is so thrilling. You never know when you'll come across a small piece of metal that hides a huge value. So next time you're going through your change jar, take a close look. Flip over those quarters. Examine the edges, the designs, the dates. You could be holding a hidden gem and not even know it. Top 2, we're heading to the heart of the American Midwest to explore a beautiful yet underestimated piece of U.S. coinage. the 2008 Oklahoma State Quarter. You may think it's just another piece of change, but hold that thought. Because hidden among the millions of these quarters are a handful of coins that are so rare and so unique, they've sold for prices you wouldn't believe. And yes, we're going to talk about one particular Oklahoma quarter that turned out to be worth a staggering amount of money, and we'll reveal that number in just a moment. But first, let's dive into what makes the 2008 Oklahoma quarter so special. This coin was part of the grand finale of the 50 State Quarters program, a hugely popular initiative by the United States Mint that ran from 1999 to 2008. Each coin in this series represents one of the 50 states with a unique design showcasing its heritage, culture, and natural beauty. And Oklahoma's design? Simply breathtaking. The reverse of the 2008 Oklahoma quarter features the scissor-tailed flycatcher, Oklahoma's state bird, in full flight, soaring gracefully across the coin. Its wings are spread wide, and it's surrounded by a bouquet of wild Indian blanket flowers, Oklahoma's state wildflower. It's a tribute to nature, freedom, and the wild beauty of the Sooner State. If you've never stopped to admire it, look again. It's one of the most elegant state quarters ever produced. But here's the twist. While this coin was mass-produced and widely circulated, not all Oklahoma quarters were created equal. That's where collectors perk up. Because some of these coins were struck with errors that make them extremely valuable, let's talk about what collectors are actually looking for when they inspect the Oklahoma quarter point. One of the most desirable and valuable types of coin errors is the doubled die. This happens during the minting process when the die imprints the coin's design twice, slightly off from the first strike. On the Oklahoma quarter, if you spot doubling on the bird's wings, the floral pattern, or even the lettering, particularly around the word Oklahoma or the date, you may be holding on to a serious prize. Another kind of rare error that gets collectors excited is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank isn't properly aligned with the dies, causing the design to be printed off to one side. The more dramatic the shift, especially if the year is still fully visible, the more valuable the coin can become. There are also examples of clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a misfeed in the minting machine, or die breaks, which leave raised lines or bumps on the coin surface. Each of these minting mistakes turns a regular 25-cent piece into a one-of-a-kind collectible. But wait, it gets better. Some Oklahoma quarters were minted with edge errors, like missing the ridged edge that quarters usually have. Others were struck on the wrong planchet entirely, meaning they were accidentally printed on a metal blank mint for a different coin, like a nickel or a foreign coin. That's the kind of thing collectors dream of finding, because it doesn't just make the coin rare, it makes it practically unique. Now, let's talk condition. The closer your quarter is to perfect mint state condition, the higher its potential value. A coin that's never been in circulation, free from scratches and handled only with gloves or tongs, can be certified by professional grading services. A high-grade Oklahoma quarter with an error? That's a recipe for major value. So why is the 2008 Oklahoma quarter gaining more and more attention from collectors? Because even though millions were minted, error coins are exceptionally scarce, and many have already been snatched up by sharp-eyed collectors. As time goes on, finding one in the wild becomes harder, and that means the value keeps climbing. Now comes the moment you've been waiting for, the value reveal. Among all the Oklahoma State quarters out there, one particular error coin, preserved in pristine condition, featuring a rare strike anomaly, was sold for an unbelievable amount. That simple little quarter, originally worth 25 cents, was purchased by a passionate collector for an eye-popping total of $77,000. Yes, you heard that right, a tiny coin from 2008. Just 25 cents at face value. And yet, due to its rarity, condition, and the right error, $77,000. This is why we love coin collecting. It's not just about money. It's about stories, history, and the thrill of the hunt. You never know when an ordinary coin could turn out to be an extraordinary treasure. So next time you're checking your spare change, pay close attention. Flip over those quarters. Look closely at the date, the design, the edge. Because that little Oklahoma State quarter in your hand, it might just be worth a whole lot more than you think. Top 3, we're diving into a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but it holds secrets that could make it one of the most valuable quarters in your collection. We're talking about none other than the United States 2000 Virginia State Quarter. And trust me, you're going to want to hear every detail of this one. Now, before you go digging through your coin jar, let's talk about why this particular quarter is catching the attention of serious collectors across the country, and how one version of it sold for an absolutely astonishing amount of money. You'll want to stay tuned until the end, because we'll reveal just how much that rare Virginia quarter went for. The number might just blow your mind. Let's start with the basics. The Virginia State Quarter was released in the year 2000 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which remains one of the most ambitious and popular coin programs in American history. Each state received its own unique design, celebrating a piece of its identity, culture, or history. In Virginia, it chose to honor a monumental moment, the founding of Jamestown in 1607. At the reverse of the coin features three historic ships: the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery, the very vessels that brought the first English settlers to the shores of Virginia. It's a tribute to exploration, courage, and the beginning of what would eventually become the United States. The design is packed with detail, from the ripples in the sails to the waves beneath the hulls. For history lovers, it's a visual masterpiece. But let's get into what really matters to collectors: rarity, condition, and errors. Although millions of Virginia quarters were minted in the year 2000, not all of them are equal. In fact, some very specific versions of this coin are incredibly rare, and that rarity can drive their value sky high. One of the most sought-after types of error in the Virginia State Quarter is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin isn't aligned properly during minting, resulting in a design that's shifted off to one side. A small off-center strike might be interesting, but the more dramatic the shift, the higher the value. Especially if the date and mint mark are still visible. These coins can be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. Then there's the infamous double die error. This happens when the design is stamped twice on the coin with slight misalignment, creating a ghost-like doubling effect on the text or imagery. If you examine your Virginia quarter and see doubling in the ship details, the word Virginia, or the phrase Jamestown 1607 to 2007, you might be looking at something incredibly valuable. Another rare and valuable error comes in the form of clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is literally missing due to an error during cutting. These odd-shaped coins are eye-catching and highly collectible. Even more exciting are the wrong planchet errors, where a Virginia quarter was accidentally struck on a blank mint for a different coin, like a dime or a foreign currency. These are extremely rare, and collectors will pay top dollar to get their hands on one. Let's not forget about proof errors. High-quality coins that were never meant for circulation, but still contain striking mistakes. A proof Virginia quarter with a strong error can be the crown jewel of a collector's showcase. Now here's something every collector knows: condition is everything. A worn coin that's been through years of pocket change isn't going to fetch much more than face value. But a mint state coin, especially one that's been graded by a professional service and preserved in uncirculated condition, that's where the magic happens. The U.S. Mint produced the Virginia quarter at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While Philadelphia and Denver produced circulation coins, San Francisco struck the more limited proof versions. The rarest coins tend to come from mistakes at any of these mints, so always check the mint mark and inspect the coin carefully. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. What is the highest value ever reported for a 2000 Virginia State Quarter? Well, among the rarest of the rare, a coin with a significant minting error, preserved in top-tier condition, verified by expert graders, and sold at a private auction. One Virginia State Quarter was valued at an extraordinary amount, and that amount was an unbelievable total of $74,000. Yes, you heard that right. $74,000. For a quarter. Just imagine, something you could find in your change today could be worth more than a luxury car, more than a year's salary, more than most people would ever expect from a coin. This is why coin collecting is such an exciting hobby. Every coin holds a story, and some of them hold life-changing value. So before you toss that quarter aside or spend it on a soda, take a moment to look closely. You never know when history, art, and rare error will collide on one tiny silver canvas and land you a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Top 4: we're about to uncover a hidden treasure that could be sitting quietly in your pocket, your old coin jar, or even in a forgotten drawer. We're talking about a coin that most people have seen, but very few truly understand, the 2000 New Hampshire State Quarter. Now, don't let its humble face value of 25 cents fool you. Because this small piece of American currency holds a story, a legacy, and for a lucky few, an absolutely jaw-dropping amount of money. Make sure you stick around until the end, because the final value of one of these rare quarters will surprise you. And not by a little, by a lot. Let's start our journey in the northeastern United States, in the beautiful and rugged state of New Hampshire. In the year 2000, as part of the U.S. Mint's famous 50-state quarters program, New Hampshire got its moment on the national stage. Millions of quarters were produced, and people across the country carried this tiny tribute to New England history in their hands. The design of the New Hampshire Quarter is both striking and symbolic. On the reverse side, it features the Old Man of the Mountain, a naturally occurring rock formation that was one of the state's most iconic landmarks, until it collapsed in 2003. The image of the rock face looking out over the mountains became a symbol of strength and independence, which is reflected in the state motto engraved right beneath it: "Live free or die." It's a coin that speaks to the spirit of freedom that defines the Granite State. But what makes this particular quarter so special? Why is it being hunted down by collectors? And how could one ever be worth tens of thousands of dollars? The secret lies in the rare and mysterious world of minting errors. You see, while millions of these coins were struck in Philadelphia and Denver for general circulation, and in San Francisco for collector-grade proof versions, not every coin came out perfectly. Some were born with flaws. And those flaws, when combined with excellent preservation and rarity, make all the difference. Let's break down the types of errors that collectors are on the lookout for when it comes to the 2000 New Hampshire Quarter. First, there's the legendary double die error. This happens when the coin's design is struck more than once, slightly off register. If you ever spot a New Hampshire Quarter where the lettering, especially around "Live Free or Die," the date, or the word New Hampshire, appears doubled or blurred, that coin might be worth far more than you think. Next up, we have off-center strikes. These errors happen when the coin blank isn't properly aligned in the press, causing the design to appear off to one side. A small misalignment might not raise many eyebrows, but a dramatically off-center coin, where a good portion of the design is missing, yet the date is still visible, can be incredibly valuable. And then there's the rare wrong planchet error. Imagine a quarter being struck not on the standard copper-nickel planchet, but on one meant for a penny or a foreign coin. The result? A coin with the New Hampshire design, but completely the wrong color, size, or weight. These coins are like the unicorns of the minting world, extremely rare, highly prized, and worth big money. Other collectible errors include die cracks, cuds, and clipped planchets, each one a product of mechanical missteps during the minting process. While they might seem small, they make a huge difference to collectors who value uniqueness and authenticity. Now let's talk condition. Even with an error, condition is everything. A coin that has been circulating for decades, covered in scratches and wear, will never reach its full value. But a New Hampshire Quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one with a verified error, is in a whole different league. These coins are often submitted to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, where experts assign them a grade and authenticate the error. The higher the grade, the more desirable and the more expensive the coin becomes. That's why serious collectors are constantly searching for well-preserved examples, especially ones with minting mistakes. Here's the part you've been waiting for. One of these coins, specifically a 2000 New Hampshire Quarter with a significant mint error, verified by a top grading service, and preserved in nearly perfect condition, was once sold in a private auction for an amount that left even veteran collectors stunned. That small, 25-cent coin was sold for $71,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter. Just one. And it was valued at $71,000 because of a rare combination of history, error, and impeccable condition. This is why coin collecting is more than just a hobby. It's a real-life treasure hunt. Every coin has a story, and some of those stories can lead to life-changing discoveries. So, the next time you get change back from the store or find a forgotten coin in your old collection, don't overlook it. Take a closer look. You could be holding a fortune and not even know it. Top 5. The coin we're about to talk about has a story that's been surprising collectors for years. This isn't just any coin. It's the 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter, and while it may look like just another piece of change, it could be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. And when I say a lot, I mean it. One of these quarters sold for a shocking amount. But more on that at the end. For now, let's dive into the fascinating world of this state quarter and why it has become one of the most sought-after coins in the entire 50 state quarters series. Let's rewind to 2004. As part of the U.S. Mint's 50 state quarters program, each state had the chance to design a quarter that represented its history, culture, or identity. When it came time for Wisconsin to shine, the design chosen was a tribute to the state's agricultural roots. On the reverse of the coin, you'll see a beautifully detailed image of a cow, a wheel of cheese, and an ear of corn. It's a proud nod to Wisconsin's status as America's dairyland. Now, you might be thinking, what could possibly make this coin so special? Cows and corn don't usually scream rare and valuable, right? Well, this is where things get interesting. Because not long after these coins were released into circulation, collectors started noticing something strange. Something that wasn't supposed to be there. Enter the now famous extra leaf error. That's right. Some of the 2004 Wisconsin quarters were discovered to have a peculiar flaw in the corn stalk, an extra leaf. But not just one version of the error. There were two. One is called the extra leaf high, where an additional leaf appears above the main leaf on the corn. The other is known as the extra leaf low, where the added leaf hangs slightly lower. Both were clearly mistakes made during the minting process at the Denver Mint. But here's the twist. No one knows exactly how many of these error coins exist. And that mystery has fueled a coin-collecting frenzy. At first glance, these coins look like any other Wisconsin quarter. But take a closer look at that corn stalk. And if you see an extra leaf, either high or low, you might just be holding a coin that's worth thousands. These weren't created on purpose. They were accidents, likely the result of damaged or over-polished dies during production. But that's what makes them so fascinating. And to collectors, the appeal of an error coin isn't just about rarity, it's about uniqueness. Each error tells a story. Each flaw adds character. And in the case of the Wisconsin quarter, that tiny little extra leaf transformed an everyday coin into a prize worth hunting for. Now, let's talk about condition. Like all valuable coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. A coin fresh from the mint, never circulated, graded, and sealed by a professional service. Those are the ones that bring in the big numbers. Combine that condition with a rare error, and you've got a powerful combination that drives serious value at auctions and among collectors. So, where can you find these rare Wisconsin quarters? They were minted in Denver, so you'll want to look for the D mint mark just above the date. And while most were released into circulation like any other coin, a few with the extra leaf error managed to slip through unnoticed until sharp-eyed collectors found them. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Among all the extra leaf error coins that have been discovered, one in particular stood out. It had the extra leaf low variety, was graded in excellent condition, and sold at a public auction for an unbelievable sum. Are you ready for this? That 2004 Wisconsin state quarter, just 25 cents at face value, was sold for $68,000. Yes, you heard that right. A quarter that you could have found in your pocket change turned out to be worth $68,000. All because of a small mistake on a tiny leaf. This is why coin collecting is more than a hobby. It's an adventure, a treasure hunt, a way of seeing value in what others overlook. Because sometimes, the most ordinary things carry the most extraordinary stories. So, the next time you're going through your change, keep an eye out for that cow, that cheese wheel, and that ear of corn. And more importantly, look closely for that extra leaf. Because what looks like a simple quarter might just be the jackpot you never expected. If you enjoyed this video and you want more amazing stories about rare coins, valuable errors, and hidden treasures hiding in plain sight, make sure to like this video. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you never miss another coin you should be paying attention to. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting and good luck out there.